Hello, YouTube family. Welcome to the Happy Crappy recap of today's Happy Crappy Hour. Today's topic is about the narcissist and new supply, actually. So, the question is the narcissist really happy? And is the new supply really happy? The reason I asked this question is because I've been getting comments about how my viewers are catching glimpses of the narcissist and the new supply's life and thinking that the new supply is getting everything that they had always been promised by the narcissist. And they think that the new supply is living the life they've always wanted. They are thinking that the narcissist is happy and everything is going just great in the narcissist's life. Meanwhile, they're looking at their own life and thinking that they cannot get out of this rut. They cannot get unstuck. They're depressed and staying in bed most times, most days, and they just cannot understand how the narcissist has been able to move on. Well, the question is the narcissist really happy? And I have to tell you, no, they're not. They do seem like they are happy from time to time, and the only thing is that they are going to edit the movie for you. They are not going to show their audience the tape that did not make it into the movie. They're not going to show you the part, the disastrous part of their life that they don't want you all to know. They are going to only show you their successes. And there are occasional times they will show you small setbacks because they just want your sympathy. But for the most part, they are not going to show you the dark, ugly side of their life. They're not going to show you that the new supply and they had a huge fight all night long and they got to work late because they were still fighting walking out the door. They're not going to tell you that they wrecked their car and now are in a ton of debt because they have to figure out how to get another car. They're not going to tell you that the new supply took off on them and left for a week and they were separated for a while. They're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you how they begged the new supply to stay because the new supply was ready to dump it all, you know? They're going to show you that they took the new supply out on a great date, and guess what? It was probably a makeup date. They probably messed up huge, right? And then they did something really nice for the new supply, something really grand. And then they're going to post that and show like, oh look, I took them on this huge cruise, spent a ton of money on them on this big vacation, or bought them a really nice jewelry or something like that. They're not going to tell you that, well, I had to do that to make up to the new supply to keep them. They're not going to let you know that. But in the meantime, if you should catch a glimpse of their social media, if you should happen to have a mutual friend that loves to tell updates to you because they figured, well, you used to date the narcissist, so you might want to know. They'll drop these little bombs about how the narcissist just came back up from vacation, from this really incredible vacation, or how the narcissist just got a promotion, or how the narcissist bought their first house recently. And you're like, why the heck are you telling me this? Right? You don't want to know. But what's going on is the mutual friend is not getting the whole story. The mutual friend only sees the little news clips, right? They're not getting the whole story. I talk about this like there's a movie version and there's a documentary version. The movie version is the edited version that we all get. The documentary is only for the new supply and those very close to the narcissist who see behind closed doors and know what the heck is going on with the narcissist, the disaster that's going on in their life. They see the cheating, they see the new supply trying to leave, they see the financial disaster because they're being hit up for loans, right? They're being hit up to bail out the narcissist. That would be the documentary version of what's really going on with the narcissist. What we get is the movie cleaned up, pretty version, the Cinderella story of how the narcissist and the new supply have found their soulmates and are just perfect for each other. And those who are in the audience will actually believe the Cinderella story and perpetuate that lie. That is what we get to see, unless we get so close that we get to see the really ugly parts. Now, my advice is not to get close. Do not even look, do not even pay attention to your mutual friends who want to gossip or tell you about these updates that you do not care about. What I suggest is that you bounce. You bounce your eyes, you bounce your mind, you bounce your ears. What that means is when something um, comes into your view and you see it, sometimes it's like a train wreck, and or even something that's enticing and lustful, right? You just want to watch more. You're getting some satisfaction out of watching it, some curiosity that's served. So you are attracted to that information and you want to dwell there. You want to even dig to find out more what's going on in their life. Do not do that. What you want to do is bounce. So when you see them coming down the street, when you hear about them from a friend, you get out of there. You just turn your head and you focus on something else. You do not want to dwell on the narcissist and the new supply, because the version you're going to get is the movie version. And that is going to convince you that everything's going great for them and your life is a mess and is just terrible and will bring you into more depression. You do not need that and you do not want that. Here's the thing. Narcissists, they know how to reinvent themselves from moment to moment. They will jump from lily pad to lily pad, as if you can imagine this. They're trying to get away from the consequences and disaster that's behind them. So as they jump from lily pad to lily pad, they're going to show and look like they're moving forward. They're going to look like things are getting better for them. They're not going to tell you that they just got evicted from the last place they were at because they destroyed the place. They're not going to tell you that their boss is on the verge of firing them and gave them a warning, right? What they're going to tell you instead is that they're going to be moving to a new, better job that they've always wanted, or they're looking at buying their first house. And the reason for that is because they're getting evicted from the last house they were in. They're not going to let you know the truth behind what they're really doing. You only get the edited version. And it will look like they're reinventing themselves, right? It'll look like they're moving forward. It'll look like their life is looking beautiful, but it is not. Their move is only momentary, a momentary escape from the consequences of their actions and their behavior. So when they look like they're having these great vacations, they're going into incredible debt doing that. When they buy a new car, it's because they wrecked their old car. What you get is the spin, like the political spin to things. You don't get the documentary truth. You don't get the version of the story where people who are witness to it would be interrogated or questioned or interviewed. You're getting only the editor's cut, right? The executive producer's cut, where they get rid of all the mess ups in the movie, all the times the actors made mistakes and there was a loud noise or the set collapsed. You're not going to see that. They cut all of that out, and then you get this sparkling, wonderful, seamless, very flowing story that ends happily. And you think, wow, that's amazing. But here's the deal. Narcissists are actually very lonely people. And the reason they're lonely is because they do not think that anybody really understands them, not even the new supply, who, by the way, they think is a total idiot. They do not respect the new supply because they've manipulated the new supply over and over again, and they watch how the new supply continually falls for all of their gaslighting, all of their excuses, all of their deceit, and they have no respect for the new supply. They just need the new supply for supply, right? They need the new supply to stroke their ego and be there and make them look good and provide things for them. But they do not feel close to the new supply. They are very lonely people. They don't even share this with the new supply because, well, how can they share with the new supply that they really think the new supply is an idiot, right? They lose themselves in this fantasy world instead, that where they watch movies or TV shows and they lose themselves inside of these narratives that look shiny and good and easy because to them that's relationship. They actually have relationship with characters in a fictional story more than they have relationship with people in the real world. Like they identify with characters in a story, they don't identify with people in the real world. They don't connect with people in the real world or have real relationships with people in the real world because real relationships would require work, compromise, sacrifice, consideration, would actually require them to get out of their comfort zone and care about somebody else. And narcissists just don't do that. But they're going to post for you the highlights because they have an audience that they need to make jealous. They have an audience that they need to call or comment and tell them what a wonderful life they're having and how much they're admired and how much the audience cares about them and thinks they're great. That's all applied to the narcissist. So they're not going to share with you all the ugliness of their life. However, the good news for you is that you do not have to stay in the dumps. You do not have to stay depressed. You don't have to look around and think that everything in your world is gray because you can work on your real self. You don't have to get lost in a fantasy world where the narcissist is. Even though the fantasy world might look shiny and more attractive than what your world looks like, the thing is, those fantasy worlds dissolve. The real world remains. So you work on yourself, on humility, on looking at the things you need to change, the things you want to get better at, the things that you want in your life. And with humility, you can admit to yourself, where is it you went wrong? How did you lower your standards? What is it that you did that you never ever want to do again? Narcissists do not do that. So, with humility, but not shame, because shame holds you back. Shame would just make you feel like dirt. Shame would debilitate you. So don't be ashamed of what you did. You actually want to move forward and look at yourself with honest, truthful eyes so that you can change the things that held you back. Sorry, you guys, I kind of lost my voice there. I hope that this has helped you. I hope that you can see more clearly now about what the narcissist really is doing in their life and what they're really getting. They're not getting the kind of life that they're portraying to you. That all is an illusion. So pick yourself up. Know that you're on solid ground while they are walking on some steam and mist and things that are not really there. You get to move on with your life. You get to choose the good things in your life and have real relationships in your life and to build yourself up. You get to have that. So you guys, I hope that this has helped. If you want to see the full Happy Crappy Hour, go to the link that's in the description. Please don't forget to subscribe and to like the video, share the video, and watch a commercial once in a while. So I will see you next week again for another Happy Crappy recap.